Hello and welcome to episode 38 of the JaguarReport podcast. My name is Gus Logue. I'm joined by my co-host John Shipley. John, the draft is just over 48 hours away. By the time this episode comes out, it'll be under 48 probably. 24?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Oh my god. That's how lost I am, John.
It's like almost 24
That's how
hours
long this week
this
has been already.
conversation.
24 hours, not 48.
It's Wednesday, Gus.
You were throwing too many numbers at me before we started.
My ears perked up.
Just have to make sure everyone's paying attention. All right, now that we got that over with. 24 hours out. How we feeling, John?
I'm ready for Monday, man.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Dude, it
hasn't even started yet.
Right.
Like I love the draft with all my heart, but man, by the time we get to this home stretch, like the last week of it, I'm completely just sapped of all life, all energy and stuff.
And grind.
The draft, like when it actually kicks off, rejuvenates you some. But Jesus, man, I'm tired, man. If I see another mock draft that isn't one I had to write myself to feed my family, then I'm gonna go crazy. Shouts to Gene for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting when it starts at 8 or 8:15, and then we're gonna wait 2 hours.
It starts that late.
Yeah, dude. It says
at 7.
It says it starts at 8 Eastern. I looked it up today. And that means like the first pick will probably be announced at 8:20, 8:30 even.
Super cliche question. Have you watched Breaking Bad?
Yes.
Roger Goodell can't keep getting away with this. He can't keep getting away with this.
Dude, he is though.
So it's probably going to be like 10:15-ish when the Jags pick, like 10:30.
Right. So by then, like the energy of the draft will be gone for me at least, because I know we'll both be tired.
God.
And like waiting around for 8 o'clock in the first place takes forever because there will be so many fresh rumors tomorrow, and how many of them are actually going to be real?
I'm gonna be at the stadium at like 4 too, so that's gonna be.
Are you going to be there for like the draft party?
Not the draft party, but they set us up in some room in the stadium where we basically sit and write until they make their pick. We write about the pick. They put us on a Zoom with whoever they picked, and then we talk to Trent and Doug at the very end.
Gotcha. I did not know that it was like immediately after. I thought maybe it was the Friday morning that the Zooms happened. I forgot.
No, so the Zooms happened immediately, like within like probably 10, 15 minutes. Like we talked to Trayvon last year. It was a horrible interview. Because you remember like when I think it was Rap Sheet dropped by the way, the new number 1 overall pick wrapped his car. Whatever. So half the questions in the Zoom are about that. And you can tell Trayvon was very clearly wanting to talk about anything but that. But yeah, we had one with Devin Lloyd last year too. And then Friday is when the first round pick actually gets into town. And so it'll be Thursday, they make the pick. We Zoom with the pick. We talk with Trent and Doug at the very end of the night. And not like after the pick, like after pick 32. Because remember last year they picked number 1. We're like, all right, let's go talk to Trent and Doug. And they were like, no. we're gonna wait and see. And then of course, they traded up for Devin Lloyd. And then on Friday, the first round pick comes in, and then the next few days are basically the same. Like we even Zoomed last year with the day 3 picks. Well, the media did. I think I kind of tapped out in a couple of them.
Hey man, it's a long week. It's a long draft season, but we're almost to the end of it. So on the last podcast, we kind of narrowed down the positions and prospects we thought were likely for the Jaguars. So John, let's just start off with official predictions. Who do you think is going to be the pick at 24th overall?
Yeah, so I put out, my last final mock. I tried to put out a mock draft the day before the draft, like my final prediction, just because I don't want any of like the day of draft rumors, like the, flood it or, make things any more murkier than they already are.
So is that going to be your last mock?
Yeah, it's going to be my last mock. Yeah, okay. I'm not touching another one until. God, I don't even want to think about 2024
Maybe
draft.
December? Is that
I'm not touching
or
another
January?
mock. Yeah, I'm not touching another mock draft for a hot minute. So okay. I went with Osiris Torrance from Florida, and I actually had them taking him over Brian Branch because I don't know, man. I can't shake that. How I don't want to say they came off skittish, but how many questions last week's press conference raised about the offensive line? I went into it thinking the offensive line had a lot of questions, and then I hear, Cam should be okay medically or whatever, health wise, whatever he said. Okay,
whatever that means.
Whatever that means. Okay, that adds a layer to it. And then Ben Barch is, ahead of schedule, but he still won't be ready for training camp. Like, there's pretty significant, updates. So I went with Osiris Torrance. I think that they're gonna go into the night hoping a pass rusher falls. There's obviously a ton of Lucas Van Ness smoke. I know some teams that have Lucas Van Ness in their top 5 overall players. So I think he's going to go really early. I think the NFL loves him, but I think they obviously would do backflips to draft him. I think they would move up for him if they could, etc. But I don't think any of those pass rushers are going to get to 24. So I think they're going to be picking between Branch and an offensive lineman. And by that point in the draft, I think the tackles will be gone other than Bergeron. And you can't take Bergeron over Torrance. Like you can't. Even with the positional value factored in, you can't do it, man. So
right.
Yeah, some teams think Torrance can play tackle. I don't think he can. But
yeah, that was like an interesting question that I only saw today.
Some teams think he can. So maybe he's your right tackle in the future. Who knows? But that's who. If I had to give you my gut guess, who is a Jaguar by the end of tomorrow night? Right now, it's Torrance.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that makes Torrance a lot more of a valuable pick, though, if you think you're just getting a beast of an offensive lineman, period, and can play him literally anywhere. Because I think he started his college career at center and didn't play a ton, but I don't know. He could play anywhere, it sounds like.
Yeah, anywhere probably other than probably left tackle. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I know Jonathan Jones, he's – in terms of national reporters, I don't think there's many people out there more plugged in to the Jaguars than Jonathan Jones. And he said in his mock today that every team he keeps talking to keeps mocking a defensive lineman to the Jaguars. It makes sense in the sense that I do think every team probably knows the Jaguars are super thirsty for a pass rusher. It's just I don't think there's going to be a pass rusher at 24 worth taking. And I don't think they're going to take an interior lineman early. I don't think they're going to take an interior defense lineman in the first 3 rounds because they have Foley Fatukasi and Roy Robson Harris locked up long term. And Devon Hamilton, there's just, maybe he's a guy who, plays here another couple years.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That'd be interesting. Yeah, that would be one of the reasons Mozzie Smith was a name I had in the back of my head as a shocker, potential for the first round pick. Because I was thinking that Devon would technically, right as things stand right now, he's going into the final year of his rookie contract.
Yeah, I think Devon Hamilton will be a Jaguar pass this year, and that's a newly formed take of the last couple of days. So I'm with you. I thought Mozzie Smith was a sleeper option too, but I no longer think that.
Well, that's cool. We're both Devon fans, right? Ham fans.
I love Devon Hamilton, man. He's awesome, dude. What was it? I remember that terrible season they had, 2020, his rookie year, that start he had against the Chargers where he had 8 pressures or something. That's like a rookie nose tackle. He's a goblin in the best sense of the term.
Yep, absolutely. In terms of my prediction, I'm just going to stick with Brian Branch. You had him in 4 different mocks this season. Peter Schrager had him a couple weeks ago. Another plugged-in guy had him not just a couple weeks ago, I think a week ago. And he just seems like the best short and long-term fit to me. If you're looking at the defensive side, I guess it would be kind of a coin toss for Torrance too, as just a kind of best available type player who also fills a need. But I'm going to stick with Branch. I think that's going to be the pick.
So I don't think he'll get there, but Deontay Banks for some reason was at 24. Do you think they would take Banks over Branch? What do you think they would do? Not what you would do. I think they would take Banks. I've heard a lot of stuff on them having significant interest in Banks. They just don't think he'll get there.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm probably wrong because of what you just said, but I kind of feel like they would rather have Branch just because, in my opinion, they need a star in the middle of the field and just more depth on the outside of the field because where they really get burned is in the middle of the field, in my opinion, the past 2 years. And that's because of technically outside corner depth, but you really just need to get a solid guy in there. It doesn't have to be another great guy. I don't know. I feel like we talked about this in the last pod too, about teams just spending significant resources on perimeter corners and how it's worked out.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting to see. But I mean, I would be like all for Banks, just specifically talking about him.
Yeah. Let's see. Banks. Okay. Among cornerbacks in this draft class, okay, Sports Info Solutions, their draft stuff has been awesome. Among like cornerbacks in this draft class, he is ranked 19th in slot percentage last year at 18%. That's over guys like he played more in the slot last year than Tyreek Stevenson did, then DJ Turner did, then Ringo and Darius Rush did, then Joey Porter Jr. and Forbes did, then Julius Brents did. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's more of a nickel fit than people maybe want to say.
I definitely would not have said that. I like that number that you gave from SIS shocked me.
Yeah, like
I haven't really watched any of his film.
There's a big difference between him and Cam. Like Cam Smith had 36% of his snaps in the slot, so it's a difference, obviously. But it's not like it's completely foreign to him. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And honestly, he's a physical enough player and a good enough tackler. I think he could do it.
I think so too. He's definitely got dog mentality or whatever.
I trust him more.
He's a good tackler.
I trust him more fitting against a run in the slot than I trust Cam Smith. And Cam Smith has a lot of experience in the slot. So, I don't know. Food for thought. Maybe they draft, maybe Banks is there and maybe he's the guy that, they see as a slot type.
Right. Well, just all depends on how the board breathes, right, John?
Yeah, you gotta let the board breathe.
You want to get to some listener questions?
Yes, but yes, I do. Real quick. Give me one pick that they can make tomorrow that you would just give like complete F-, 2 thumbs down to. Like, this pick sucks.
Hendon Hooker.
Well, you didn't like Collinsworth mocking him to the Chiefs?
No, I think that was just like a media ploy to get clicks, and it worked pretty well.
God, I didn't click. I clicked on a Twitter video. They didn't get any clicks from me. Somebody got engagement from it.
I just saw on my timeline.
It wasn't them.
On it.
It wasn't them.
Well, they still got a lot of clicks.
All four people that currently still work at PFF probably are thrilled about
it. True that.
Can you name anybody who still works there?
Does Trevor work there?
Other than Trevor, the
what
Irish
does
one.
Do? I don't know. I mean, like, respectfully, but like I feel like I haven't seen any of his content in forever.
Stop tweeting. He's the Herbert guy.
True.
According to his bio, he works as a college football analyst and hosts the PFF College Football Podcast.
I don't really care about college football. Maybe that's why.
No, not at all. So
as we're doing a draft preview.
So other than Hooker, who's a pick that you would just
like Bernie Sanders, whoever the Sanders kid is, the linebacker from Arkansas.
Sanders.
I know it's not Bernie. What's his first name?
I think Drew.
Yeah, I was gonna say Andrew.
I'll be honest. I didn't watch a single linebacker. If the Jags take a linebacker, I have no takes on him other than why are you drafting the 5th guy on a depth chart?
Yeah, other than what the hell?
Yeah, I have no takes. I'll go. I think Dalton Kincaid would be a horrific pick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that would be an absolutely ludicrous pick for so many reasons. Like, even if you're not considering the fact that they already have Evan Ingram, who functions in the same way, who they're trying to extend, and the fact that they have Christian Kirk and a bunch of other guys who can play in the slot, which would mostly make Kincaid like useless. They don't need him. He's a 24-year-old tight end coming off back surgery in one of the deepest tight end classes ever. Why the hell are you taking that guy in the first round?
I don't know if he just has the greatest agent of all time who's like creating all this smoke or what is happening. Because you're right, he's got the back injury. He's old. Because of the back injury, he didn't do any measurables, which is pretty important to teams. I don't know how he's going to go in the first round, but that's the way that signs are pointing.
It's wild. Like, I've seen people make like Travis Kelce comps. And, like,
yeah, to be fair, did you say you've watched him? Because I haven't watched him.
Yeah, he's a good player, but I would take him in this. Even if he was 22 with no back injury, I'd still take him in the second. And I still think he's.
Do you think he'd be a good pick at 56, or would he be like an okay pick at 56?
I'd take him at 56.
Okay.
I would take if I had the ability of foresight and I knew Laporta would be there in the third down. I don't think he's a whole round better than Laporta or Musgrave.
I always forget about Musgrave. But apparently Laporta is going like earlier mid
That's
second,
insane.
which surprised me.
That's insane to me too.
Especially you think in a good tight end class, you could get him in the third or fourth.
Yeah, there's a lot of projection need. People love their tight ends who win from the slot in college, and then you get to the NFL, and suddenly these guys who cover those guys are no longer slow Big Ten defensive backs, and wow, he doesn't do it as well.
Oh,
so that's honestly why tight ends don't translate better than the F tight ends, because how they win is more similar in college, and like I have no question about how Michael Mayer is going to translate.
Yeah, like he would probably be on my list of home run picks for the Jaguars.
Yeah. So, well, I think we're both in agreement then on what the worst picks would be.
All right, John, are you ready to get to some listener questions?
Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. I love listener questions.
Yeah, we haven't done it in too long. Let's see. Teal Ordeal tweeted, "Why would the Jaguars be interested in bringing back Ngakoue?" Didn't read it before I was saying it out loud. We haven't talked about him at all. Why would they be interested in bringing back Ngakoue when they could get any other free agent edge? So on Tuesday, Mike Baracco did a radio hit on 1010XL and said that there was mutual interest between the Jaguars and Ngakoue for a reunion signing. So why would they be interested in bringing him back?
His worst season, he had 8 sacks.
Yeah, there are, I believe, 7 players with more sacks than him since he entered the league in 2016.
He has
Cameron Jordan, Khalil Mack, Aaron Donald, TJ Watt. There's a couple more. I don't think I can do it.
He's terrible against the run, but he's still giving you 8 to 10 sacks a year.
Yeah, horrific against the run. And like the fact that he's been on 4 different teams, I think 5 different teams in the past 4 years, is a little bit concerning.
The Colts, the Raiders, Baltimore, Minnesota, and then Jacksonville in 2019. So that's 5 teams in 4 years. 5 and 3 years if you count like the couple months he was with the Jaguars for the 2020 offseason.
Nah, don't count that. That's cheating. 5 and 4 years.
Yeah, that's a lot, man.
Yeah. But he's really, really good at hitting opposing quarterbacks and knocking them down. So that's why it would make sense more than any other free agent.
Yeah, no, he'd make a ton of sense. Like, I don't know if he'll ever accept that he's like a designated pass rusher and teams don't think like he's an every down stud. But whenever he does, like he'd be a pretty great fit. Like, now I would sign Yannick over anybody out there on the market. Like, let the pass go. Like,
right.
You know, the Jaguars, you know, they ended up coming out okay from, you know, the Yannick trade. Actually, who'd they take with that pick? Actually, they took Walker Little. Yeah, they took Walker Little. They ended up
a second rounder.
Yeah, they ended up okay. They ended up okay. Now, you know, the people he beefed with are gone. I would think that him
Tony Khan gone.
The people he beefed with that don't own the team are gone.
Okay, yes.
Tony would be able to what's the word? Let not allies be allies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let bygones be allies.
Let bygones be bygones.
Excuse me.
He's a wrestler promoter. He could do it.
I'm sorry.
You're okay. Let's move on to
that. We got to move on. There's like more reasons, and we could talk more about Jan, but we could do that after the draft. How likely are they to draft a tight end, and why will they draft a running back over one from Javal?
Like draft a tight end in general, I'd say pretty likely, just because you need a couple more guys to enter the offseason with, and they have a million picks. But it wouldn't surprise me if, like, receiver the last 2 years, where everybody's like, okay, they're going to take a receiver here, they're going to take a receiver here, and then they just kind of punt it until later. Like in 2021, where everybody mocked them a receiver like in the first and second round, then they ended up just taking Jalen Camp in the 6th.
That was so painful.
Yeah. Or like Urban basically admitting afterward, like, yeah, I have no idea who the hell this kid is. Me neither, Urban. Me neither.
My gosh.
Yeah, so they're going to take a tight end at some point, but running back, I would assume The third or fourth round is where they're going to take a running back, I think. I think they could take a running back at 86 or whatever their third round pick.
88.
Yeah, 88. I really think they could take one.
That wouldn't surprise me. I think it's more likely that they take one at either 121 or 127, one of their fourth rounders. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they took one with their third.
They're going to take a running back in that third or fourth round range, as long as B. John doesn't fall to 24.
Would you consider Gibbs a potential option?
No.
Like as a sleeper?
I think they would hate Gibbs.
Okay.
Yeah, I just a style of play. Like
right.
he's a running back whose weakness is running the ball. Right. I don't think they'd be very high on him.
You're right. We have talked.
Like, tell me I'm wrong. Everybody's like, oh, you can't really play him on first and second down, but you can throw him the balls. I'm like,
yeah, but teams will really value those check downs.
Why isn't he playing wide receiver?
Right.
No, I think he would piss them off. Like just the way he runs. He pisses me off, and I'm not even a coach.
Really? All right. Mia O'Brien said, will Herndon Hooker go number 1? Where do you think Hooker's going to go?
Minnesota. I don't know with what pick, but Minnesota will draft him at some point.
Yeah, he feels like a Viking or a Saint, in my opinion.
I think the Vikings jam sucks.
I think the Hawkinson trade was kind of low-key good. What else has he done?
That trade down last year with the Lions where they basically
was terrible.
Where they basically got nothing for it and then took a safety who I like Lewis Seen, but get real. And then Andrew Booth, he sucked as a prospect and injured. Ed Ingram, he sucked as a prospect, sucks in the NFL. That Oklahoma linebacker, there's never been a good linebacker from Oklahoma. Not at least in the last several decades. Not in the spread era of football. I think he stinks out loud. And I'm mostly biased against him because I know nerds love him because he's the only GM in the NFL without a scouting background. But yeah, Andrew Berry has
one or two other nerds. What has Andrew Berry done for the Browns? Is he a scout?
His first job in the NFL was as a scouting assistant.
Okay.
Yeah, so everybody always likes to talk like he's big brain Andrew Berry over here. Nah, he was a scout, baby.
Was Howie a scout? I thought he was in like something weird like PR analytics.
That one I would have to honestly. Let me see.
I mean, I get your point. I was just trying to.
No, Howie wasn't. No, Howie started as a front office intern. Then he went to salary cap council.
Yeah, salary cap.
And then like administration. Like his first personnel job was vice president of player personnel in 2008. So okay, one good GM and the Vikings GM. That's bite me. All right, next.
Marhism said, let's say an edge slides to them at 24. What is most likely at 56? Offensive tackle, cornerback, tight end, or another edge?
Probably offensive tackle, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I think you can take a corner in the third round and probably the idea that you have to take a corner in the first 2 rounds for him to start is out there. It's just not true. Like the Chiefs had several defensive backs last year who were like day 3 picks who ended up starting. So you don't need a corner to be a high pick, especially if he's playing in the slot. I would think offensive line.
I think based on their visits, cornerback is likely in the third round if they don't take one in the first. So I'd agree with offensive tackle.
Yeah,
they're going to prioritize that easily over tight end or another edge.
Just the way the visits reads to me is like, okay, they're going to take best player available in the first, look at pass rush in the second or third, and look at corners in the second and third. And then offensive line, like a lot on day 3. Is that check?
Yeah, that checks out.
Okay, good. You look a little skeptical of it.
I was just reading the next question already.
Okay, let's see.
Marhism has another one. Trent has put you in charge of trading Josh Allen for 2023 draft capital only. Who would you take? Who would take him, and who would you draft with your new picks?
I bet you could get the Saints first for him. You could definitely get the Saints first round pick for Josh Allen.
Chiefs is the only other team that's coming to mind for me.
Yeah.
Would you trade him to the Chiefs, though?
Eagles.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good one.
Get pick 30. Saints or Eagles?
Right.
Saints or Eagles? Saints traded more to get Marcus Davenport. Yeah, so Saints or Eagles, I'm calling their phones. I'm telling Howie to get a step ladder, come meet me eye to eye, face to face. Let's work this deal out.
All right.
Dave Caldwell's Dave Caldwell's also in Philly.
That's true.
Yeah,
this is true.
There you go.
People forget.
The Jaguars should be listening to the show. Maybe we're helping them out some. Then again, they would have me and you rushing the passer in this scenario. So
of course. But
who would I take there?
I mean, you'd take an edge, right? You'd take like a Will McDonald or a Felix, whatever his name is from Kansas State.
I guess you have to. I'm letting somebody else take those guys. Like I'd be okay with Will McDonald at 56.
I agree. I think he's going to go early second, though.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to go first round.
He's old and can't really do anything against the run. He's average against the run. He's not.
He's not bad.
He's not Yannick.
He's got tools, but he's also tiny.
Yeah. T-Raw asked if coaches believe Osiris Torrance can play right tackle. We said some coaches do believe. Sources are saying.
I don't know if the Jaguars think that, but I do know that some coaches, during Torrance's, his draft process have asked him about it and have talked to him about the idea of it. So I can't say if the Jaguars have. I've heard nothing on that front, but I will say it's not like a foreign idea in terms of, the rest of the NFL.
For the record, Torrance started at right guard for a year and then left guard for a year and then right guard for another year, I believe. He started 4 years actually, but the point is they were all at guard on the left or right side.
Yeah. So no starts to tackle.
What do you say?
No starts to tackle.
No, 0 starts.
Maybe.
Okay. JC's Space said, does a Buda Baker trade to the Jags happen during draft weekend or ever? We said on the last pod, if it happens, it'll be this weekend, right?
Yeah, I think if a Buda Baker trade happens to Jaguars, I think it would happen tomorrow night, probably. Like it would have to happen by tomorrow night because you can't trade because I would imagine he costs at least a third. So it has to happen before they pick in the third round. So tomorrow night or maybe sometime before day 2 begins. But once you get into like day 3, like they can't use that 2024 capital. So if the Cardinals are wanting like a third back like immediately, it would have to happen in the next couple of days. So.
Right. When does day 2 start? Is it at noon on Friday or 3 p.m. on Friday?
No, Friday's at night.
What?
Yeah. Friday's at night, buddy.
Huh. I guess that makes a lot more sense.
Day three starts at like noon.
Sick.
Or something like that. But yeah, no. Friday's at night. Let me see. I got you right here. Okay. Round 1. Thursday, 8 o'clock. Jesus. Round 2 to 3, and they have a picture at NFL.com. They have a picture of CJ Stroud to reflect where he's slotted to go right now. That's 7 p.m. on Friday. And rounds 4 through 7 is Saturday at noon.
All right. Now I'm
set. Fire up the coffee, buddy.
You got to send me the Zoom schedule too. Or I guess there's not a real schedule.
There's not. Nah.
All right.
You
want to talk more Buddha before we get off the subject?
No. I've booted myself out. Okay. Buddha would be sick if they were to trade for him. It'd have to happen in the next 48 hours, probably.
Yeah.
So the Buddha clock has started.
Cade said, if after day 1 ends without the Jaguars adding a corner, could that spice up Booty? Not Booty. He didn't say Booty. Buddy Baker talks. Sorry, I'm just reading these as I go. Will the Jags trade up for Bijan? Jaguars Jungle asked.
I'm trying to think of the most smart mouth answer. Who's gonna stop them? No, okay. They're not. But They're not. But I bet if you ask them and they're hearts of hearts, their cheer is come on, Trent, Doug, do you want to? I bet they'd say yeah.
All right. Well, to rephrase the question, sleeper at 24 if he makes it, which he won't, but if he makes it.
Who, Bijan?
Mm-hmm.
I'd say he'd be the favorite.
Okay.
If he's at, I'll put my bet the mortgage stance on it right now. If Bijan Robinson's at 24, he would be a Jacksonville Jaguar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm excited.
I'm not. Now I'm hoping he doesn't get there.
Will said, got to replace 1,100 snaps on the D-line with losing Key, DeWan Smoot, and Peters. Much smaller loss, but still. That's awesome.
About 10-50 between Smoot and Arden and 50 from Peters.
Hey, but still, what are their odds of going D-line for 2 out of the first 3 picks? Or is there a different option you guys think they take?
I don't think they're going to take interior defensive line early, but like a pass rusher who can play inside out, I could see that early. Like I think it almost, you kind of have to. Like I think Miles Murphy can play inside out. Tyree Wilson obviously can. They're not going to get him. Van Ness can play inside out. Keon White can. Will McDonald can't. Nolan Smith can't. Byron Young, Jesus, he certainly can't. So, I mean, Colby Wooden, he can. Derek Hall, he didn't really do it much at Auburn, but I feel like he could be even like in a situational guy inside.
I think he could too.
Yeah, so I mean, there's definitely some guys who can. Like, there's in terms of like Key and Smoot replacements, there's definitely options. Guys who can do both. I really like Colby Wooden from Auburn. He reminds me a lot of Smoot as a prospect.
Yeah. I like Yaya Diaby. Do you?
Yeah, that's another one. I like Yaya too.
He's another like tweener guy.
I would take him before Byron Young.
Really?
Yeah,
I've
Byron
seen
Young. Like he's like a baseball pitcher who has one really good pitch, and then everything else, it's like, all right, I'm not throwing nothing. Right. He's a great speed rusher off the edge, but he also looks like a wide receiver, and he's going to be 25 as a rookie. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, do you think there's any way that they don't pick an edge with their first or second rounder?
Yeah,
I would be shocked personally.
Maybe they take defensive back and offensive line, add an edge in the third, sign Yannick after the draft. There you go. Fix your pass rush. Hire me. That'll be. I don't know what they're charging for that job these days, but I just did it.
There you go.
Yeah, really, take Osiris Torrance in the first, Cam Smith in the second, Colby Wooden in the third, sign Yannick, and then on nickel downs you have Yannick and Josh Allen outside, Trayvon and Colby Wooden, Roy Robertson, Biden Harris, whoever, inside. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, we're both assuming that Trayvon's going to be inside on every third down snap.
It needs to be at least half.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be done. That's what you're going to say.
I don't see the point in trading for him if they're just going to stand him up and play him outside 1 million snaps a game.
You think Chase Young is going to get traded?
No, I think they're going to hope that he has a really good year and then try to extend him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I've seen him play like 2 games in his entire last 3 years. Like since he run defensive rookie of the year, I can't tell you anything that I've actually seen him do. But no, I don't
12 games in the past 2 years.
Yeah, I don't think he gets traded this week.
He's very good though.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't think he's going to get traded either. People who are saying that online are just it's an empty hope. Joshua Wright asked over under on Balky saying YOLO. Sorry, that just made me laugh reading out loud. And trading all the way up to draft their top edge rusher or cornerback.
I wish the listeners could see my face. Okay, you had to repeat the question. I stopped listening after the YOLO part. Repeat the question.
I can't believe I said YOLO out
loud. I can't. Imagine Trent Balky said YOLO. That's burned into my brain now.
He just said over under of Balky saying YOLO and trading all the way up to draft their top edge rusher or cornerback.
Damn, I hope so, dude. Like, it's every reporter's dream for the team they cover to just trade their picks so they can just wrap this thing up. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. The fact that he already said, last week that they are going to have like between 9 and 10 picks next year makes me think that they're okay with being aggressive this year, because those are picks that are basically locked in. Like they're at least going to have 2 comp picks, maybe a few more, so they're going to have a decent amount of picks next year. So it wouldn't surprise me. And if they were to trade up, I do think it'd be for a pass rusher, and Van Ness is who I think they'd trade up for. So if I don't know, maybe if you see Van Ness gets past the Eagles, maybe things get interesting.
If the recent smoke is that the Eagles want Anderson if Anderson makes it to 3. So if they trade up for Anderson. Mm-hmm. Who's the Bama guy?
Oh, Will Anderson. Okay.
That's okay. I've lost my mind before too.
I'm like, who are you talking about, dude? I feel like I haven't talked about Will Anderson all draft cycle.
I was trying to galaxy brain, figure out if that would like take a team that needed an edge off the board earlier.
Well,
and make like Nolan Smith or Miles Murphy or Van Ness fall.
Anderson's going to bet the mortgage, Shipley lock, ignore all the Tyree Wilson, the Texans.
Yeah, what was your last Shipley lock? I feel like you did the last one, just we never did it again.
Don't worry about it.
All right. Let me find another.
I did a podcast the other day where I guess I did the same podcast a year ago before the draft, and they were like, last year, they're like, give us your most underrated player and which player is going to absolutely stink. And they had me on again this year, and they're like, well, you didn't do so great on this last year. And I was like, who the hell did I say last year? I said Garrett Wilson would be a bum.
Oh, no, John.
Yeah, I did.
No.
Yeah. So it showed you how much faith I had in it. I had no recollection that I even said that.
Right.
I can't even tell you.
Old takes.
This was 5 days ago, and I can't even tell you who I picked for this year's.
It was just NFL wide.
Yeah.
9 to 8 Jack Sports that won't fire Balky said, should we trade up to 1 and then trade back out?
Should we trade up to 1 and then trade back out?
That's the question.
Should I start learning Pig Latin? I mean,
all right, I'm gonna skip.
Yeah, I mean, probably, but
I was trying to read each one because I was happy with how many comments we got. But
you got to filter better.
All right, yeah, I do need to do more better. Dark horse candidate for a pick. Are there any other names that we haven't mentioned yet, even though we've kind of talked about it?
I'd probably Bergeron.
What about DeJuan Jones? Honestly, at 24 or 56, would you be surprised or unsurprised?
Yeah, because I do feel like if they took a tackle, the tackle would probably play right tackle early. And I think DeJuan Jones is one of the better right tackles in the draft. Another one of my draft hot takes is you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Watch for DeJuan Jones at 11 to the Titans.
Ooh. Didn't you say I think you said Bijan to the Texans last time.
Yeah, Bijan's going to the Falcons.
Yeah. I mean, his absolute floor is now the Texans rather than the Commanders.
I don't think Bijan gets past the Falcons. So I don't know. Maybe you see the Titans get weird and like Vrabel's more or less running the show, it looks like, and he has an Ohio State fixation since he is a Buckeye himself. So maybe he takes a giant Buckeye tackle.
Okay. I like that. Man, I'm excited for the draft.
Me too, Gus. Me too. That's very innocent and pure. I am too, Gus.
I hope something cool happens, something chaotic.
Oh, somebody somewhere, some millionaire will make a very stupid decision in front of everybody. And that's why we love the draft.
And that's always a beautiful sight.
Mm.
All right, John. I don't think I got any more questions for you. You just gave me my hot take is that the Packers are going to do way better than the Jets this year, even though I'm pretty sure the Jets have better odds and are projected to have a better schedule. Like, if you hire Nate Hackett to run your entire offense and you sign Alan Lazard to, I think it was a 4-year deal, I'm not taking you seriously at all. I think Rodgers to the Jets has bust written all over it.
I'm already having bad drained brain today. Like I'm operating on like 15% brain power at its peak. But when I saw Aaron Rodgers talk about how him and the Packers relationship got ruined because he didn't get their FaceTime, just unplug me,
were
man.
you surprised at all?
Just unplug me, dude.
Oh, man.
A reporter asked the Packers GM today, like, did you try FaceTiming Aaron Rodgers?
Oh my gosh.
We're almost there. We're
so close, John.
Yeah, we're almost there. I saw another one. Last Aaron Rodgers tidbit. I don't know if it was Josina Anderson. Somebody tweeted that he went to his first like meeting with the Jets today, and he was barefoot.
Oh my gosh.
It's good stuff. That's who I hope the Jags take this week. I hope they take a West Coast hippie who is barefoot everywhere.
Poor Jets fans.
No.
No. Oh no. All right.
No. Well,
John, I guess we'll talk in about a week.
Yeah, shorter than that. I'm thinking, back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for break down the draft for y'all to listen to. My coaching season ends mercifully this Sunday, so Gus and I will be back next week to break down the Jaguars draft class. And we gave our guesses today. I think it's going to be Torrance. Gus thinks it's going to be Branch. Let us know who you think it's going to be. And as always, thanks for listening to us. Gus, you got anything to send us out on?
No, sir.
All
Let's get this over with.
Yep, let's get it over with. Happy drafting, everybody.
Happy drafting.